Hi everybody, Haley here. It's time for another monthly art practice of moon magic invitation, bringing in a little bit of zodiac wisdom with the new moon for your creative practice for the next month. So the new moon this week is on June 4th, and in Eastern time here, it's at 10:59 p.m. on June 4th, so it's coming up in just a couple of days. And this is a new moon in Gemini. The moon and the sun are in conjunct in Gemini, all right? Gemini is a sign that is, well, traditionally said to be ruled by Mercury. So if you know a little bit about that, Gemini is a sign of communication. Gemini is a sign of thinking. And I like to extend the idea of communication to include perception. Super important. And there's a lot of different things at play right now. But let's touch on some of that wisdom and energy of Gemini itself that you might notice or bring into your awareness with this new moon, whether you have a creative practice ritual or your own other sort of ritual of just bringing some consciousness to this new moon energy and planting some seeds for your next month or a next cycle or season as you've decided it to be. Gemini loves ideas, right? Gemini loves to follow what interests that like creative spirit within and to see what comes up. And the thing with Gemini is that you don't have to feel like you have to have the solution or the answer or your mind made up. This would be a balanced Gemini energy, okay? You can let go of the need to have a solution or outcome or think you have it all figured out and see how it feels to just take in this plethora of exploring different points of view. Whether that's within you, different points of view that you carry. If you're like me, you have a million all the time. And so sometimes you don't know which one gets focus, right? But kind of swim in that a little bit. Let it be rather than fighting it. But also to explore different points of view in the world around you, listening to those around you. So communication and perception is a two-way street, right? So Gemini really speaks of being curious. Curiosity is key for creativity. So really follow and notice what sparks your curiosity with this new moon. Notice what makes you curious and release any sense of urgency as best you can at trying to control things and go with the experience of, the experience of one changing moment to the next, whatever that be. So whether it's the experience of the day or just the experience of all the circumstances of your life, or the experience of how this painted page is turning out as you're slapping paint around, or how this poem is turning out different from how you thought it would be. Let go of the need to try to control that and be curious about where it's going. Just by you giving your attention and channeling your energy toward that natural flow, that unknown flow even. That's what curiosity is. Curiosity to find and seek that which we don't know. So what are you hungry to learn right now? What are you hungry to receive more of, to take more in of, for instance? Go with that. Explore it a little. Gemini is a bit of a trickster. This is one of my favorite parts about Gemini. There's a mischievous energy to Gemini. There's a mischievous nature to this energy. And we all carry this energy within us all the time. And so right now is a great time to let that out to play, to let that guide your curiosity and these little rabbit trails you might take to explore whatever it is that is piquing your curiosity. One way to do that really in a grounded fashion is to just notice, is there some ways that you want to change up your home, for instance, or that work environment that you're in all the time? How can you mix it up a little? And maybe you need to go out of your home and your workplace a little bit more and be a little bit more social, because Gemini is also a very social, connective sort of energy. So mix it up and see what types of social things might feed your curiosity in this cycle as well. You may find with this energy that it's a little bit hard to concentrate at times, and this is something to pay attention to. How does that show up in you uniquely? And mostly when that happens, it means a couple of things. It can mean that it's time to just kind of cut everything out and rest. And I'm going to come back to that point in a little bit too. The second one is to notice maybe maybe you just need to focus on one or two less things at a time. Again, so what keeps coming up is channeling this energy for perception, focusing the energy for communication, right? So this moon is also really strong for releasing. And this whole year, there's a lot of releasing energy in the astrological stuff. And this particular moon, based on some different planetary action, is really strong for that as well. So notice what needs let go of, right? And self-expression, right? That's communication. That's perception. Say the thing. Tell the story you need to tell. Communicate the truth. Communicate your truth. And ask for what you need. These are really potent times to do those things, to actually explore them, not just within you, but out there too. And it's really powerful with the energy of Mercury and Gemini to write it down, declare it. Declare it with your voice. Declare it to, even more importantly, maybe to someone that you trust. Say it out loud, even if just to yourself. And observe your world responding over the course of the next month. Get curious about that, how it validates you at times, how it validates your perspective, and also how it shows you perspectives you may not be seeing. How wonderful that is. You might see this energy of Mercury and Gemini and communication and perception, this releasing, this curiosity, this sort of active energy happening around relationship, around finances, around truth-seeking or truth-finding, and also around your career, or I would extend that to also say your mission in life, all right, and your mission goals. And those are related to the other planets that are activated right now too. Those are huge areas, covers a lot of ground. But with that said, the point is to follow your inner guidance. Follow that intuition. What I always say in creative practice with anybody who's worked with me is that very thing. Trust your instinct, trust your intuition. That's what the moon is all about. What is your heart telling you? When you drop your awareness down into that heart space, after the communication is done and you're dropping in and you're kind of absorbing it, letting it infuse. What does your intuition and your heart tell you? Follow that inner guidance. And also, be an enthusiast for what interests you. Don't deny it. Love what you love. What ideas draw you in that you can't get enough of, that you're hungry for? Explore those. Play with them. Enjoy them. And last month with Taurus, we said, what do you want, right? Well, Gemini is an extension of that. What is it that you want? Curiosity is an extension of that. What is it that's pulling you? Declare that. Explore it. Be enthusiastic about it. Be an active participant, an active communicator with that. So do a little exchange there. And also, I believe Gemini rules the hands, which is just coming to my mind right now, which is excellent, right? So most of us are creative people. How can you take that energy, all of that, channel them through your hands into your creations, whether that be physically in writing, or physically in moving your paintbrush, or doing collage work, or weaving, or knitting, or gardening, or whatever it is that you're doing right now to channel that creative energy. Work with your hands right now, because that grounding piece is crucial. Things don't have to make sense around all of the communications and perceptions you may be receiving, all of the ideas you may be having. That's okay. Let them just come, feel that experience. Notice what is moving through you. Know that it doesn't have to make sense, and trust it anyway. And then the most important part, which I said I'd return to, and is to find and commit to a practice or a point of stillness during this time. That is what we need most deeply. It's a time to let all of that stuff that we take in marinate, so that moving forward, these seeds that we're planting with this new moon in Gemini, that they can pull in the nutrients they need in that still time. That's what healing work is. Coming back to that point of stillness, because we do our best healing there. We do our best creativity in that place. It's where things sprout and ignite and spark and all of that goodness. So those are my thoughts for you about the Gemini new moon. All of these thoughts you can just use as launch pads and jump boards for your own creative practice and reflections this month. And as always, I love to hear your thoughts and see what you come up with. If you feel like sharing, if you don't feel like sharing, that's perfect too. You can always connect with me at my blog at haleycarla.com, and also in the Holistic Creative Facebook group, as well as my various course offerings and that. And I hope you have a blessed month, a beautiful Gemini new moon, and I'll see you next time.